Hey everyone, so before this review starts, I just wanted to thank Julia for recommending this movie. I mean, it feels like Julia week on the channel, honestly, because she's recommended two, and then I made fun of her in another one. So, Julia, enjoy it while it lasts, because you're not getting another week like this for a while. But let's go to the review. Cube was released in 1997 and was directed by Vincenzo Natali. It is about five people who wake up in a cubic-shaped room and are surrounded by other cubic-shaped rooms, some with traps and some without, and they have to figure out a way to escape. This is a really low-budget Canadian horror film, and honestly, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It's not the best movie out there, but it's not a B movie either, because it does have some good scares and a lot of good suspenseful moments, which I'm going to talk about. The best thing this movie has going for it is its concept. I mean, when you're watching it, it's a really cool concept because you don't know a lot about each person, but you could kind of start telling personality traits from actions that they do throughout the movie. And even in the beginning, you could kind of tell like what each person is going to be in the movie, with one character actually having a nice arc throughout, which I didn't really expect. But his arc ended up being really nice because I hated him at first, but then he ends up being one of the people I cared about the most. But they did a good job with the writing, but the problem with some of the characters in their arc is it could have been better if the acting was better, because the acting is really bad in a lot of scenes. Stop! What? With the best actor being Andrew Miller, who plays this character called Kazan. He is by far the best character in this movie, and I absolutely loved him. But the guy who I liked, who was the character's name is Worth, he also does pretty good. He's not that bad of an actor. The cop character, Quentin, he had some really rough lines and some really rough takes throughout the movie, and there would be certain line deliveries that would be really weird, where I'd have to be like, ooh, they didn't reshoot that, or like, was this the first time that they filmed this and then just said, you know what, that's good enough. But yeah, he wasn't the best. Some of the characters acting weren't the best, but the arc of the one character was nice, and it was good to know that at least that writing portion of the movie was good. But there is a problem with some of the writing in the movie, with there being too many plot holes. I can't spoil the biggest plot hole because it comes at the end, but something happens where they have to do it because then you really want to have a movie and you want to have a suspenseful moment. But you just question, how did this person get here as quickly as they did? When you think about it, and like you'll kind of see if you watch it, you'll think the same thing, like how did he end up getting here? But that's one of the plot holes. There's another one which I won't really talk about because that's a big spoiler and there's too much information that I would have to explain with it to explain why it's a plot hole. But yeah, the writing isn't the best that it could be, but the movie is a lot of fun. It sets up a really nice atmosphere filled with tension because certain characters start to go crazy within the cube, and you could start to see like some of their actual characters showing, but a lot of them don't know how they got there or why they're even there. So like they even don't understand what's going on, and as it goes on and as they start to think a little bit more and regain like a little bit more memory, that's when some of their true character comes out, which was really nice with specific characters that I can't say. But I mean, just to point one, Quentin, his character has a lot to him, some good, some bad. Some characters also you find out some good, some bad, but they all have a reason to be in the cube, and you try to figure it out as you go, as the characters in the movie also are. And it's really nice in those scenes when you figure out why a certain character is there and like what their job was, and that was probably one of the best parts about the movie that I enjoyed. Some of the characters and the tension that was built up, which is really a lot of what this movie has to offer, because there isn't a lot of gory scenes. They have a few, which when they did have them, they were actually really good. The special effects for those scenes and the makeup artists did a really good job with them. But It's more of a psychological thriller, more so than like a slasher feel movie. I do want to bring up the character of Andrew Miller again because he plays a mentally challenged character in this movie, and he does a great job acting as him. I mean, I actually believe that the actor was mentally challenged, but when I did further research, I found out that he actually wasn't. And that spoke a lot to me because it shows how great of a job he did, but also how he didn't do a characterization. Because some movies, when they try to portray someone who's mentally handicapped, they decide to do a characterization of what they think that would be rather than a more nuanced approach, I think is how I'd word it, which he does a great job of having that nuanced approach to this character and giving him a little bit of depth and making him my favorite character in the movie. I mean, I loved him. I was so happy whenever he would be there, whenever he would have a line. I mean, he definitely was the star of the movie in my eyes in specific scenes. So if you're able to look past some of the bad acting and some of the plot holes in this movie, it honestly is a blast watching it. I mean, it's very suspenseful. You'll feel it. You'll start to tighten up a little bit in certain scenes. The director knew how to play with tension, and that honestly was the best thing that it had going for it. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10, and I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun. You could watch it with your family if you want. Certain scenes might be a little uncomfortable, but it's a great time, so you should watch it. So thank you for watching this review, and let's flash forward to the next review.